These events changed the world forever. You may struggle to watch these shocking moments. Number 1. The Indian Ocean Tsunami. On December 26, 2004, a massive undersea earthquake occurred off the coast of Sumatra. The quake was one of the strongest ever recorded, triggering a giant tsunami that decimated communities throughout Asia. Walls of water slammed into coastlines across 14 countries. Entire cities were erased in seconds, as homes and families were swept away. Bodies were strewn for miles, with over 230,000 people losing their lives.
That wave is a good 15, 20 feet tall. Easy.
Rescue teams couldn't reach many of the survivors for days, as aid struggled to keep up with the scale of destruction. Billions of dollars worth of damage were caused. It remains one of the worst natural disasters in recorded history. Number 2. The Japanese Tsunami. On March 11, 2011, a giant earthquake struck off the coast of northern Japan. It was the most powerful quake in the country's recorded history, and the fourth strongest globally since 1900. Roughly 50 minutes later, a massive tsunami hit the coastline. Waves reached up to 40 meters in height and swept as far as 10 kilometers inland, engulfing entire towns and agricultural regions. The double disaster left more than 15,899 confirmed dead, with 2,500 more never found. Nearly 400,000 buildings were destroyed or severely damaged. The tsunami also triggered a critical failure at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. Flooding from the wave disabled emergency generators and cooling systems, leading to core meltdowns in 3 reactors.
In the wake of the deadly earthquake and tsunami in Japan, a third crisis is unfolding at one of that country's nuclear power plants.
Over the following days, hydrogen explosions and radioactive leaks contaminated the surrounding area. Authorities declared a 20-kilometer evacuation zone, displacing more than 160,000 people from their homes. It became one of only 2 nuclear disasters in history to be classified as level 7 on the International Nuclear Event Scale, alongside the 1986 Chernobyl accident. Economic losses were estimated at over $360 billion, making it the costliest natural disaster ever recorded. Number 3. Chernobyl. On April 26, 1986, a low rumble broke the silence over northern Ukraine. Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded, instantly releasing more radiation than Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined.
It's now clear that the Soviet Union has suffered one of the worst disasters in the history of nuclear power.
Firefighters who arrived at the scene stood on glowing graphite, unaware they were standing on death itself. Radiation poisoned the air, the soil, the water. The nearby city of Pripyat was evacuated the next day, but by then it was already too late. Radiation flooded the city and the 50,000 people who lived there. In total, some estimates suggest that the disaster caused a total of 60,000 deaths in the years that followed.
The wind blew a cloud of radiation over the Baltic states towards Scandinavia. Some radiation monitors recorded levels 10 times above normal.
The Soviet Union tried to hide the disaster, but radiation alarms triggered in Sweden. The world held its breath knowing that the skies themselves had become toxic. Number 4. The Berlin Wall. For 28 years, the Berlin Wall stood as an example of global division, with capitalist and communist states staring each other down in a global ideological standoff. In 1961, the East German government placed a wall around West Berlin in order to stop the spread of capitalist ideals and prevent movement into the West. The city was divided practically overnight, with families, friends, and couples torn apart. Over the years, hundreds attempted to cross the wall, with many being gunned down in the process by East German guards. But in 1989, pressure was building in Eastern Europe.
Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate.
One by one, Soviet puppets were breaking free and welcoming democracy. The East German regime was cracking, but still no one expected what happened next. On the evening of November 9, thousands surged toward the checkpoints.
Thousands of West Germans come to make the point that the wall has suddenly become irrelevant.
Guards watched without leadership as people began climbing the wall. Others brought hammers and chisels to smash the wall and end the separation forever. Civilians broke down the wall throughout the night as the end of the Cold War era was watched by millions across the globe. East and West Berliners embraced for the first time in a generation as loved ones were reunited after decades.
Thousands of East Germans came across the border today, perhaps more than 100,000. So many that border police lost count.
Thanks for watching.